Hi, Doc McDonald here with another Straeon video essay. This week in our Straeon workshops, the words blockages and barriers came up a few times. And these are blockages and barriers between me and my creativity. They will show up right before I'm about to do some acting in the form of thoughts like, don't fuck it up this time, or please, please, please don't let me forget my lines. Or I don't want to be embarrassing. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to disappoint my scene partner. I don't want to disappoint all these actors. I don't want to disappoint the coach or the director or the producer. And if you think about all those thoughts, now sometimes they're strong in some actors, sometimes they're very weak, but they're still there, okay? But all of these thoughts, all of these feelings are negative, and they are all ego-driven thoughts. They all come from our ego. Now, one of the things we talk about that's necessary right before they say action or the curtain goes up, is this energy that comes to us. We call it creative energy. This creative energy is necessary if I'm about to create anything. Doesn't matter. If I'm going to create, I need this creative energy. Now, if this creative energy is coming to me right before I'm about to act, and any one of those little thoughts is coming at the same time, I turn creative energy into a negative energy in the form of fear or anxiety or nervousness, okay? Instead of letting creative energy be what it truly is, which is joy and excitement about the fact I'm about to create something, right? So keep that in mind about all these little negative feelings that come up. It's important to understand that these feelings, these thoughts actually, they come from very deep beliefs that we have about ourselves, okay? Beliefs such as, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I'm defective, I'm a disappointment, okay? Any of these kind of negative beliefs that we have about ourselves. And most of the time, they're not really true. A belief is something that, it's a feeling, an idea, a circumstance that we repeat over and over and over again until it becomes a belief about ourselves. And again, not necessarily really true about the essence of who we are. But there they are. Now, I did a lot of research with a therapist about these beliefs because, I wanted to learn what they are and where they come from, how they develop. And I'll tell you, I learned a hell of a lot about how my mind works. And I really recommend that all actors do this. Every great actor that I know is working with a therapist of some type. Just for the same reason. Not because they're, well, I was going to say not because they're crazy. Yeah, not because they're crazy, but because they want to learn about how this mind works. Now that makes sense, doesn't it? We are the instrument. This body, mind, voice, spirit, this is the instrument through which a story and a character will tell a story. So the more I know about how this body works, how this voice works, and how my mind works, will only make me a better instrument for storytelling. Makes sense? So I recommend therapy to all actors. I recommend Jungian therapists because they're all about stories and myths and things, archetypes. But any kind of therapy will help. It's going to help you to learn more about how your mind works, and that's going to help you. The more you know about this instrument, the better actor you're going to be. Now, another thing that came up this week is the idea of surrender. I actually sent an email to some of our actors about surrender a couple of weeks ago. Surrender is a necessary and very important part of what an actor has to do right before the curtain goes up or someone calls action, okay? Now, in this surrender, we let go of ideas. We let go of all our ideas about how we're going to do the scene, all the clever ideas. We let go of all the rehearsals we've had, all the research we've done, all the clever line readings we've done that we think we've got to let go of all of that. We have to go neutral. We have to surrender. We have to give up. We have to let go of our need to control our creativity, which cannot happen. Okay? Now, if we do that, we become incredibly vulnerable, don't we? It's a little scary. We're out of control. We no longer have control. We're in chaos. We are, in fact, helpless. Now, helpless is a very interesting word. Ancient Chinese philosophers came up with the idea that if we humbly surrender to our helplessness, our ego loses some of its power. That becomes important. If our ego loses some of its power, this negativity starts to disappear. These blockages and barriers fall apart. And here's the thought that really defines it. If we can humbly surrender to our own helplessness, our ego is no longer the leader in our consciousness. If that happens, we now, in our mind, have room for our intuition, our spontaneity, our creativity to lead in our consciousness. And that feeling opens up the entire instrument for the heart of the character to show up and for the story to be played through us. Very important thought. Now, it's not easy to do that, if you think about it, is it? That takes a lot of courage. And I want you to remember a couple of sayings. One is that your creativity waits for you right in the place that scares you the most. That's sort of what we're talking about, isn't it? And courageous. Being courageous is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of the fear. Those are two things to keep in mind. If we are able to really surrender, to really let go of our need to control, our need to do a good job, then we are open and available for the story and the character to come in, for our intuition and our spontaneity and our creativity to be truly in the moment. And we will do extraordinary things in the moment that nobody could have thought of. No writer, director, producer, no actor could have thought of. In the moment, that energy will take over and we will do things we didn't even know we could do. We will be on an extraordinary journey. We will become an extraordinary actor. And in this world, right now, today, this producers, directors, writers across the globe are looking for extraordinary actors like you. So this week, acting, whatever kind of acting you're doing, I want you to be brave, to be courageous, to surrender to your own sense of helplessness, and to become extraordinary.